Hey, what's going on, America? Welcome back to another broadcast of Break the Chains Media. Today is February 24th, 2021, and I am your host, Corey. We're going to be talking a lot about former Vice President Joe Biden canceling even more of Trump's administration's plans and more things that just make no sense because he likes to completely erase and wants to eliminate anything and everything related to President Trump. And it's almost a vendetta or a vindictive attempt at this point. Some of these things don't even make much sense. We're talking about former Vice President Biden canceling Operation Talon that targets sex offenders living here illegally. And we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about some more border control, border immigration policy things where we had kids in cages in 2016 through 2020, but now we have migrant holding facilities under former Vice President Joe Biden's administration. So, tit for tat, tomato, tomato, it's really all semantics at this point. Things are still getting done the same way as they were before, even far back as 2014, okay? This is an ongoing issue. And we're going to also jump into some quick Bitcoin news at the end of all this. But first, if it's your first time here, if you like this kind of commentary and this kind of discussion about news and media, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share this with your friends. We're going to be news blasting this as quick and as fast as we can because I just want to hit bing, bang, boom, caboodle, and we're going to get on and run into the first information document right here, folks. First thing we got is Biden canceling Operation Talon, a program that targeted sex offenders living in the U.S. illegally. Okay? Biden has made it clear that his number one mission as president is to undo everything the Trump administration accomplished over the last 4 years. Isn't that pretty obvious, right? His newest cancellation simply does not make sense. Biden's administration recently canceled Operation Talon, a Trump administration program aimed at removing convicted sex offenders living in the United States illegally. Though the program seems to be something everyone should support, it clearly isn't. Why would anyone want sex offenders to remain in the country? South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson joined a coalition of 18 other state attorneys generals urging Biden to reverse the cancellation, according to ABC News. We're working hard to fight human trafficking and sex crimes in South Carolina, and allowing convicted sex offenders who are here illegally to remain in our country makes absolutely no sense. I completely agree. It just, if they're already convicted sex offenders, why are we even allowing them in to remain here? Not to mention the fact that they're here illegally. So we should kind of move them along, get them back where they came from. It's just it's not safe for our country. It's not safe for our citizens, and it's very dangerous. These trafficking sex crimes are repugnant to human decency and generally, and to children specifically, and it leads into our other topic of discussion here. United States population of illegal immigrants includes a disturbingly large number of criminals with prior convictions for sexual crimes. The letter reads, according to data collected by Syracuse University Transactional Records Access Clearinghouse, during the period from October 2014 to May 2018, ICE arrested 19,572 illegal aliens with criminal convictions for whom the most serious prior conviction was conviction for a sex-related offense. So that's, those aren't small numbers. I mean, that's something serious that we need to look into. And it just doesn't make sense. Trump was a great effort pushing forward against human trafficking in general, sex trafficking in general. All of those numbers and arrests skyrocketed as far as him putting convictions and putting those people behind bars during the Trump administration, and it just doesn't make much sense as to why creepy Uncle Joe over here would want anything to do with reversing that. It just doesn't make sense unless he's trying to collect a lot of young folk and maybe have hair collections and smell and sniff and according to his preferences. I don't know, but that's just a theory. It's no evidence backing that, right? But we're going to jump into another article here, and this one is a controversial Trump-era child migrant facility opens under Biden, this time with little protest. Do you remember back when they had AOC standing at one of the holding facilities crying with like the little Native American tear running down her face because there's kids in cages and they're just living in inhospitable situations and they're being treated terribly and this is just so wrong? Well, now they're not called kids. It's not called kids in cages anymore. It's migrant holding facilities, and these children are being treated just the same as they were previous, but now there's no backlash in it because the liberals and Biden can do it. It's okay when they do it. It's a crime against humanity if Trump or a Republican or conservatives put these children in holding facilities. And this is a lot of something what people miss is that a lot of the times these children come across the borders potentially with not family members or bloodline or kin that they know. They're coming in with other people and other individuals who might not be related to them, or the kids might not even know them. So I think it was a 1997 bill that was passed that the adults have to be separate holding facilities from the children, and these children are being fed and taken care of properly and adequately, and they've been doing it safely for upwards of 5 or 10 years. So let's see here. The child migrant facility at the center of protest and controversy over the summer of 2019 has become the first child holding facility to open under the Biden administration. How funny. It's unnecessary, costly, and it's absolutely against everything President Biden promised he was going to do, said Linda Brandmiller, a Texas immigration lawyer. For unaccompanied children, it's a step backward. It is what it is. It's a huge step backwards. Dozens of migrant teenagers were bused to the facility Monday as a permanent holding facility struggled with lower capacity limits during the coronavirus pandemic. So they're using the coronavirus as a reason to say, oh, we need to open more to keep people separate and keep people separated. So they're making pushes to open more because of all that. All right. While the Carrizo Springs temporary holding facility is open with little controversy at this time, the same site was the stage of protests against former President Trump's immigration policies when it opened in the summer of 2019. All right, and not to mention it costs a lot of money, $200,000 in beds and other furniture in the facility. Although the facility received much criticism under the Trump administration, Department of Health and Human Services spokesman Mark Weber said that the children placed in the facilities receive good care, something that has not changed between administrations. If we could find another way, that'd be great, Weber said. On the flip side, these kids just come in and they're just turned loose on the street and they end up being homeless kids. So we don't want that. We want these children to be taken care of and treated effectively and properly. So, if they're going to cross the border illegally, we need to vet them and facilitate them effectively, but we need to make sure that they have next of kin or someone in their family that they're safe with, that they can potentially move to or go from, and we don't want them to be thrown just to the wayside, to whoever or wherever. So these are important facilities. However, the criticism in comparison to Trump's administration is completely fallen on deaf ears when it comes to the Biden administration. So that is interesting. And to wrap up the immigration issues, this is from the Epoch Times. Former ICE chief says immigration laws are becoming meaningless. It's almost like it's not illegal to be here illegally in the United States anymore. Tom Homan told the Epoch Times on February 18th. Homan's retired during the Trump administration after directing the agency responsible for the interior immigration enforcement and deportations, as well as investigations into human trafficking and cross-border crime. He's concerned the Biden administration is rendering immigration law meaningless. The Department of Homeland Security on February 18th announced new enforcement priorities that will focus on 3 groups of illegal immigrants: national security threats such as known or suspected terrorists, those who cross the border illegally after November 1st, 2020, and public safety threats who are convicted of aggravated felonies. Any ICE agent who encounters an illegal immigrant who falls outside of these 3 categories must get pre-approval from their field of office before taking any action. It's, I guess it's kind of like a catch-and-release program, or even less thereof. They're not even bringing them into facilities. They have to get approval before they detain them. So, well, they say it's for public safety, but it's the worst of the worst. Homan said, when it comes to assault, when it comes to robbery and burglary, and all these other crimes they've taken off the table, they've pretty much sent a message to the rest of the world that it's okay to enter the country illegally. As long as you don't commit a few of the most serious crimes, you're free to stay because ICE isn't looking for you. And that's a big proponent at the end of it. It's we want people to come here illegally. We want people to migrate here illegally or through legal means, through the border crossings, through effective measures. We want them to be becoming U.S. citizens. We want them to be here in a safe and effective manner, to be a productive member of the United States. But if they're coming here illegally and they're not being tracked and traced and anything like that, they're just going to fall under the ICE radar. Okay? So 92% of the almost 186,000 individuals that ICE enforcement and removal operations removed in fiscal 2020 had a criminal convictions or pending criminal charges, according to ICE's end-of-year report. Almost 186,000 individuals. That is a huge amount, okay? Approximately 90% of those arrested had a criminal conviction or charge, according to the report. This goes back to the Operation Talon. I mean, these sex offenders are being here and they're staying here illegally. So it's, you know, of these convictions, over almost 2,000 homicide offenses, 37,000 for assault, and 10,000 for sexual assault. We just talked. Yeah, this is all. They all go hand in hand together, folks. And that's you know, it's dangerous. You know, we want ICE to think about the ties to the community, whether the individual has family here in the United States, U.S. citizen, family members, and other considerations. So they're trying to find opportunities to put these people in homes and in residents that they belong in. You know, we don't want them to be just going through America illegally and living here illegally. So on February 22nd, Attorney General nominee Merrick Garland testified in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee, and when he was asked whether he believed illegal entry to the United States should remain a crime, the immigration court system sits within the Department of Justice. Quote from Merrick Garland: "I just haven't thought about that question," Garland said. "I think the president has made it clear that we are a country with borders, and we are concerned about national security. I don't know if a proposal to decriminalize but still make it unlawful to re-enter. I just don't know the answer to that question. I haven't thought about it." Well, you should if you want to be considered for Attorney General. These are important questions and important standpoints that an Attorney General should have if he's going to take up that position. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. If you enter the United States illegally, it is illegal to do so. Therefore, you should be charged to the fullest extent of the law. End of story. Clean, cut, and dry. Enter the United States legally through the proper border measures and border security offices, and apply for citizenship, apply to become part of working American society, and we can move from there. I know there's lots of loopholes, and the immigration policy should be reformed so it's a lot easier and a lot more effective to have these people migrate and immigrate to become our citizens of the United States. That being said, it's a whole nother story when they're breaking the law and they're they're coming through the fences, breaking the border, and you know Biden stopped the border wall, and Biden's dropped a lot of financial support for ICE and immigration reform. It's a mess down there. It's a mess in general. He wants open borders. He wants people to come in here, live here, and unfortunately, what it boils down to is they want people to come here and live here legally so they can have a serf class that's below minimum wage, that will take any type of job, that will take any type of employment for under the table cash, and create a form of serfdom and the working poor, where they're untraceable and they just don't contribute to United States effectively. And last but not least, we are going to jump into some quick Bitcoin news. I am not a financial advisor. I am not saying or refuting anything that you should or should not do with your money. It is your own decision to make financial decisions for yourself. Trading and stocks and cryptocurrency is a very high risk market, and you should not take my word for it. I'm just observing. So we saw that Bitcoin has had an all-time high of 58,000, and over the last 24 hours, it's dropped significantly. The MACD has lots of negative movement down there, and the volume for negative transactions is just through the roof. As far as negative transactions, selling pressure, lots of selling pressure coming through the market. And you can see the trading is now happening at right around the 200-week moving average on this 4-hour time frame we're looking at right now. So, and it's almost crushing right below the 200-week moving average. And the lines are shifting, things are moving. We can potentially see a decline in the market here because volume has not held up for as far as buying pressure, as far as moving the market forward in a higher direction. I do believe that we are going to see some sort of a correction, maybe down to as low as 35,000. There is a lot of support here within this $40,000 range. So we will see what happens with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies in that market space. But if you like my kind of news reporting and journalism, independent research, please hit the subscribe button, share this with your friends and family, and I'm hoping to see you soon. I appreciate you guys coming to check me out, and as always, we will continue to fight for freedom, folks. We'll see you next time.